Penguin Random House Audio presents Temp, How American Work, American Business, and the American Dream Became Temporary, by Lewis Hyman. Read for you by Simon Vance. For Kate. Somebody must do the work, and it might as well be you. Elmer Winter. Introduction. How we all became temps. During the worst recession since the Great Depression, Elmer Winter gave a speech condemning the complacency of American businessmen. Winter was the president of Manpower, Inc., a temporary labor agency, but also one of America's largest employers. He delivered his speech as a call to arms, a plea for nothing less than to save the country itself. Winter fixed on deadly fears of the future as a theme, developments Americans believed would undermine their economic safety. Some of these fears came from abroad, like Chinese 25 cents an hour labor or Russia's ever-subtle global diplomacy. Most of Winter's fears, however, were about America itself, about the disconnect between our hopes and our realities. Foremost in the thinking of every man and woman who works is the basic question, Winter said, how secure is my job? The hope of the man on the street today in America, he told the shareholders, is a good job, good health and security for himself and for his family. Ever the realist, Winter told the businessmen that this dream of economic security in the form of a steady, well-paid job would no longer be possible. He told them that the old days are gone, and plans must be the order of the day. Winter's vision was to bring down costs, especially labor costs, by providing a flexible workforce without job guarantees, buttressed by new automation technology. American business would need to work smarter and harder to overcome the hue and cry that we can't compete with foreign products where our labor rates are 3 or 4 times higher than theirs. Manpower, and other temporary agencies like them, would provide that labor. Winter's speech, you might be surprised to learn, was delivered not in 2008, but in 1958. He gave it in the first brief downturn of the post-war economy. The end of American job security was not in the past, but still in the future. His prognostications came true partially because he and others like him believed them so zealously and worked so hard to bring them about. The rise of our flexible economy, how we all to some degree have had to come to terms with the withering of the post-war job, is not just the story of Elmer Winter. His company, Manpower, Inc., the first major temporary agency which in 2017 still employed more than 3 million people, or 50% more than Walmart, would play an important role in transforming the world of work from one of security to insecurity. But it would not be alone. This transformation was not a conspiracy, but was carried out in public to much acclaim. Presidents, CEOs, and stock markets the world over celebrated the dismantling of the post-war prosperity. Most people kept their jobs, but you don't need to replace everybody to make the rest insecure. Temps define the limits of what is possible in labor, casting a long shadow over the rest of the workforce. Beginning in the midst of the post-war boom in the 1950s, American jobs were slowly remade from top to bottom. Consultants supplanted executives at the top. Temps replaced office workers in the middle. And day laborers pushed out union workers at the bottom. On every step of the ladder, work would become more insecure as it became more flexible. This new economic arrangement produced opportunities and wealth for those at the top, but for most people, flexibility produced economic uncertainty. For some of the new temps, like consultants, the work is glamorous and lucrative. For others, like office workers, it is a dead end. For those day laborers waiting outside Home Depot, it is work with little pay and much danger. Despite pay gaps, education gaps, and citizenship gaps, temps have come to define our workplaces today in ways that Mad Men-era secretarial temps, white-gloved and beautiful, never could have imagined. Temp is the history of this transformation, of how
Sample complete. Ready to continue?